1 and week 2 should be practiced and gone through. In week 3, it's cumulative, but the focus of week 3's training for students really should be a lot of kicking techniques. For kicking, we're going to go ahead and start with our stance. We're going to do the front kick. Every kick we teach can be done from the rear and the front. Remember, with rear kicks, it's more powerful, but it takes a little bit longer to get from A to B to your opponent. And with front kicks, it's a snap, it's faster, it's sneakier, but it doesn't do as much damage in fighting. So with the front kicks, same thing, chin to chest, hands loose, elbows in, knees bent, facing forward. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to start with the rear front kick. Step 1, put up the knee. Step 2, kicking out, hitting with the ball of the foot. And so you should be doing this, practicing in increments of something like 50 kicks. Okay? And so when we do this, watching from the back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you should be able to go ahead and have people practicing at least in increments of 50. And when you kick, you should go ahead and have a little push in the pelvis. This is a great kick to get somebody away from you. And when you do it, you should keep your head level. You should not be bobbing up and down. This is incorrect, and it's poor form. So stay bent, stay crouched, and just let it pop out, keeping your head level. You can also do the same thing with a front kick. Reaching up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to just notice it's the snap of the leg in front, and again, it's more deceptive, it's faster, it's less powerful. Those are for your front kicks. For your side kicks, we have the same thing. Coming up, it's a great strike to go to the knee, although never in sparring, that's very dangerous. In the street, it's great to practice for self-defense, but you should be going a little bit higher than the knee, something around on the thigh for somebody in sparring. Raising the knee up, shooting out, and you're hitting with the ball of the foot right here on the heel, and you're going to go ahead, same thing, breathe out every time you kick. What you can also do for the side kick is the step-up sequence. It is one of my favorites, and it's very deceptive and it's very powerful. Step up with the rear, then kick out with the front. So, step up, 1, raise the knee, 2, kick out, 3. And eventually this becomes this. And you're going to notice when we kick, we do not drop the hands. Why don't we drop the arms every time we go down and kick? Because you're wide open. You can really eat a punch to the face. You don't want to do that. Keep your hands up. Every time you're kicking, you want to make sure those hands stay up, elbows in. Protect your face. So we've done front kick, the side kick, and one of my favorites, this roundhouse shin kick. We're coming around, we're kicking with the shin. The laces are pointed inwards with the tips of the toes, pointing towards the shin, and your target area for the roundhouse shin kick is in fact the shin. So you have very large, strong bone here coming across. Again, elbows in, you're kicking around, and you are spinning towards your opponent, and you're kicking in the street for defense. You're hitting anywhere from the knee and below. In the ring, of course, that's an illegal strike. You're going to be practicing a little spot right here above the knee that's like a Charlie horse point where if you hit it, the whole leg goes numb, it goes dead. It's a good way to end a fight in a tournament fight. But either way, remember when you come around, you're spinning around and you're hitting with the shin, and the toes should be pointed. The other reason you point the toes, as a future secret for other combos we're going to teach, is it's a great way when you get behind somebody and kick to pull back and use it as a hook to anchor them forward and to break their stance. So that pretty much concludes the kicking portion. One final part of the kicking portion is to go ahead and remember when you're kicking, like with the side kicks, make sure your heel is pointed towards your opponent. Okay, that's something special about the side kick you want to remember. So going up, and when we kick, it should end up pointing where the side kick is going. The foot on the ground, the heel. The important detail to generate a lot of power. And keep your hands up. Don't let them drop when you're kicking. With the push-up component, the push-ups are going to be jumping push-ups for this week's martial art class. Jumping push-ups are pretty simple, just like a regular push-up, except you're going to be jumping up. So, breathe out every time you hit the ground and push up. Now, for a lot of people, developing jumping push-ups is very difficult. The way we have a lot of beginners start is on their knees, practicing the same jumping push-ups with their hands. So, instead of going and starting with this, if this is too much, what we recommend is go on the knees, and from here, go ahead and start like this. Much less weight, same motion, and see what it's like. That develops a lot of the muscle twitch power to really drive through and strike your opponent. Now we're going to implement the sparring with one of my senior students, Lance. And with sparring, there are 3 cardinal rules with Army of Saints sparring in our rules and regulations. And that is that you have headgear, especially with face shields. If you're going to do the hand-to-hand, open hand strikes, this is a far more dangerous way to practice sparring than closed fist. This does far more damage. Any experienced senior fighter knows that. That's why this is not allowed in mixed martial arts fights. However, you need to have the face shield if you're doing open hand strikes. That is regulation within Army of Saints training practice. You always will have a basic headgear piece. You'll always have a groin cuff protector for the groin, and you'll always have a mouth guard. And so from here, we're going to just do some 50% sparring. It's better to start out 50% and to just get a feel for what it's like to hit and be hit by your by your opponent, and not so much to go 100 miles an hour at each other crazy, because you don't want to lose focus of your practice. So today, we're thinking about kicks. We're thinking about, remember a couple weeks ago, the chain punches with the open hand palm heel strikes, and just go ahead and get a feel for what it's like. When somebody kicks, you are to block doing knee to elbow. That's the one thing you have to remember. For all the other strikes, do open hand parries or just get out of the way. And work on getting in on people with your combinations. All right, we'll begin. Do a quick minute of sparring. Here we go. So, with sparring, remember the 3 cardinal rules. Always headgear, always face shield if you're doing open hand strikes, old school training as we are, always mouth gear, always a groin cuff protector, and bow in and out. Even if somebody has a low shot or what you think is a dirty shot, be the bigger person, and just remember to respect each other in training, because really, we're all brothers here, practicing and training. Okay, and that concludes the martial arts session 3, class 3 practice. Welcome to week 3, class 3, Army of Saints cardio portion. For cardio today, it is all about abs, ab work, your core training. In strikes, you breathe from the core, from the diaphragm, and everything is tightened here, and you also learn to toughen it, so you get to a point where you can have what we call a high modified side stance in an arm guard, really protecting the face and taking some extra shots to the body, because once you develop a strong internal and external core, body shots don't have to be scary for anyone, although that takes years to develop. So we're going to start with some basic ab training today. I'm going to do it with a weight in all of the examples, just for people that are looking to do it heavier, harder, more intense, with less repetition. You can do more repetition with no weight at all. It's your choice. We're going to start with the basic, what I call ab increments. What are ab increments? It is taking, again, weight if you're going to do just a few reps, or no weight at all if you're doing a lot. And you're going to go ahead, you don't need any equipment, and you're going to just have a towel or something just to support the buttocks, because you don't want to do it on hard ground and actually grind the bone. But you're going to go ahead, you're going to start in a position like this, and we're going to do increments where I go up, and I hold, and I come down. Now, with this, there's a variation. Instead of holding and going down, keeping the weight, if you're doing it with weight at one level, what you can do is you can start actually adding a little chest work into it, where you can go like this, and every time you go down, you go up. So the arms can raise as you do the ab work. Now, that's one variation. You don't have to do it with weight if you want to do a lot of repetitions. With the bicycles are in a similar position, crunched forward, and you're just coming out as if you're on a bike with your legs. The back does not move. This is intensely difficult with a weight. It's much easier without a weight, but again, start without a weight and build up to a weight. And so we're just going to go ahead. You're going to keep the legs like this, in the back in this position, and you're going to go ahead, hold the weight about 3/4 if you're using a weight, and you're going to go forward as though you were on a bicycle, and you're going to keep the back in the same arched position, and you're going to try to do all of these for about 60-second increments. After that, you'll go ahead and you'll do a little bit more work on the legs, and you're going to do what's called vertical leg lifts and then horizontal. With vertical and horizontal, as you can imagine, you're holding your back in the same position, but you're going to go ahead and let the legs do most of the work. With vertical, again, if you're doing it without a weight, that's fine. If you're doing it with a weight, hold it at about 3/4, and you're going to go ahead, legs straight up. And from here, we're holding the weight steady, and we're letting all the lower body do the work. We're tensing the abs. We're developing what we call the external muscle of the abs. And then we're switching over to horizontal, where we're in the same position, but now legs are going out, back and forth. Same thing. Abs in a crunch position. Holding the weight out if you're using a weight. And then you can begin alternating back to tricycles or bicycles. You can go ahead, start your incrementals. And you can go back and forth for the abs, and that's something that after about 20 minutes, that's a solid cardio workout. Now we'll go ahead and we will move to the strength portion of week 3. Army of Saints, week 3, class 3, for the strength training portion. This week, we are going to have our students work exclusively on the triceps, really well-defined tricep exercises that will again be integrated into the cumulative training of everything from week 1 and week 2, now with a focus on week 3 material. So, for the triceps, we have a couple general exercises. All you need for most of them is a seat and a single dumbbell. And we're going to start with what are one of my favorites for tricep definition, and we're going to do overheads. Okay, seated overheads. I grab the opposite side rib, going intercostals. I start up, I go down, and I'm coming up, and I'm exhaling every time. A common mistake people make with too much weight is they have too much weight and their back is arched like this. This is very bad for the spine. It's not good for muscle definition. You want to be linear, straight, upright, controlling it, and you are doing overheads. You should have a weight to go up until about 10 reps if you're looking to do bulk. If you're looking to do cardio tone, and you are looking to do somewhere between 20 to 30. Okay? And from here, you'll obviously switch up to the other side, the other arm. And that is our first set. Our second set, which is also one of my favorites, is what I call dips. Dips can be done with weights added if you have a dip bar. Most places don't, but if you do have the luxury of having that, put both hands here, you hang in the air, you go up and down, and there are even weight belts. You can tie weights on, which is a favorite exercise of mine. It's a great way to put extra strain on the arms in training. If you don't have that and all you have is a regular bench, that's all you need. And so we'll go out, legs straight, and we're going to just go out all the way down. And with the dips, there is actually a variation that a lot of people don't practice because it's too difficult instead of doing regular dips. And all you're going to do is do incrementals. Hold halfway, down, up, hold halfway, and every time you go halfway, hold. So all the way down, half, up, half, down, half, up, half, down, half, up. And you can do anywhere from 20 to 30 of those. For kickbacks, you're holding against the wall, and all you're doing is you're having your legs slightly bent, you're using only the tricep, and you're breathing out, and here, all you're looking to do is use the rear arm, go out, and try to hold for a couple seconds, and come back. You should not be doing it like this. This does nothing for you. You want to hold, 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 hold. Again, only about 10. If you're looking to build bulk, if you're looking for cut definition, you should go up to 20 to 30. And that is your kickbacks. And lastly, for more intense tricep exercise, a lot of you have probably heard of diamond push-ups. So diamond push-ups, same thing, like push-ups, but your fingers are touching, making a diamond, and all you're going to do is you're going to go down and up, and a great variation to doing diamond push-ups are doing, again, you guessed it, incrementals, stopping at the half point. That builds muscle and definition. So half, hold, up, half, down, half, up, half, down, half, up. And with these repetitions, you should really be able to solidly define the triceps. Again, a reminder on packing, holding your arms and letting your arms tense up as much as they can. Packing puts that strong energy into the bone marrow, and you're tightening as much as you can, shaking, but letting the rest of your body stay loose. Packing is something that's practiced 30 seconds at a time over roughly 5 minutes. And that concludes the weightlifting portion of week 3, class 3. For class 3, week 3, Army of Saints meditation piece, again, reminding everybody that we want all students to be trying to do something from the martial arts, the cardio, the weight training, and the meditation piece to have an inclusive, fully defined martial arts practice. We have everybody end with our meditation this week of what we call seated transcendental meditation. Very simple, very easy to do, very effective when you learn to get comfortable and good at it. It is uncomfortable for most people to start with meditation, high school or college or even most adults. But when you get comfortable with it and you can really learn to zone out your mind, you've really learned to do something very powerful to go ahead and shape how you are as a person. So, With this meditation, a lot of kids get nervous or think it's silly or it doesn't work, or they just get anxious about doing it in front of people. It's better to learn how to be your own leader, separate your mind, really learn to put yourself in a different place when you close your eyes. That's a skill most kids do not have. Most teenagers and young adults don't have that. If you can develop it, it will really serve you well in the future. All you're going to do is have legs crossed, rest your arms on your knees. Most people prefer eyes closed. Some keep their eyes opened. I think it's better for kids with their eyes closed. Make sure your posture is straight. You don't want to be leaning forward. Keep your back straight, chest out. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to have the tongue on the roof of the mouth, so nobody should be able to talk. So the tongue is on the top palate. And we're closing our eyes. And the purpose of this meditation, and try to go at least 3 minutes, is to go ahead and choose one spot that you are most comfortable in the world. It can be on top of a mountain, it can be at the beach, it can be, at your best friend's house, somebody you've trusted your whole life. Choose one spot that is very incredibly comfortable for each student and really learn to put yourself there. Close your eyes, and instead of seeing blackness when you close, see that place. Tongue on the roof of the mouth, breathe in and out through the nose only. This is your first practice of transcendental meditation for 3 minutes. It should be silence. Try your best. Some kids laugh, some kids giggle. It's because they're nervous. They haven't gotten it yet. Eventually they will with practice. You'll do that for 3 minutes. And then, just to remind people, the 4 things we always end with, think of a class today, part of the class, whether it's the lifting, the cardio, the martial arts, the meditation. One good thing, one cool thing you learned that you really want to practice. We give a lot of stuff to go through each week, stuff that people take years on, that we're having 18, 19-year-old kids practice in just 1 week. It's throwing a lot at kids, so reflect on it. And nobody's going to get great at everything, so choose the things you really like the most and focus on that and share it with the group. Tell people what you really like. And as far as something you need to work on, be honest. And this is something that gets easier for kids every week, but if you can go around in a circle and admit one thing that you know that you got to work on, and maybe, depending on the crowd, everybody knows you need to work on it, be honest about it and work on it. And as far as the nutrition piece, we always end with our Army of Saints nutrition chart of champions. Why do we press this so much every week? Because we want kids healthy, not just through physical fitness and mind-body meditation and being intellectually smart, but having the right nutrition, because most kids do not in this country and many others. So again, vegetables, about 25%. You're having several servings of vegetables every day, especially those leafy green vegetables. Think of your fruit, nuts, and seeds, especially nuts and seeds that have the healthy kinds of fat for you that your body needs. Think of whole grains, anything from brown rice, whole grain pasta, barley, oats, wheat bread. These are things that really will give you solid energy throughout the day. You don't want to rely on soda or soft drinks or candy. That's something that just taxes the pancreas, taxes the system. You want to be smart as a martial artist or as a trainer and know these things. And lastly, your beans, lentils, yogurt, especially your soy milk, those are things that really give you some of the vitamins and minerals you need. So, in closing, be thinking about upcoming things that we have integrated into your program for job readiness in the Job Corps aspect, for kids going on to either in colleges, universities, for the military or trade or tech programs, because we're going to have things due over the course of the 3 months, because we want to go ahead and make people not just learning all this other fun, free stuff we give, but to go ahead and give you a future that you can rely on for your own family someday. Again, this is Ryan Gilbert closing out for Army of Saints Class 3, Week 3 series.